Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Lines Forever. Today we're back watching some more group stage games, this time with Petric, Pawns, Tuhu Master Race, now Camellia, playing versus Kizer on Sturgis Major. Somebody asked me to explain what the crazed build was I made reference to in a previous video, and Crazed Chariot was a great FAF player, 1v1 player and Sedence player. Doesn't play anymore. Kizer going for a walk. Oops. So the Crazed build is basically factory, 2 mexes, hydro, and then after the hydro you edge build a factory up here. You don't make any more PGens or anything. And a walk from Petric as well. I think you also I'm not sure if you make a PGen before the hydro or not. I suspect you don't, 'cause the idea is to get aggression up here across the map as fast as possible. So yeah, the reason I'm not sure is because I never even played with Craze. I don't think I've ever played a game with him, but he was around a long time ago. Nice com walk start, solid from Petric. And we're gonna speed this up. So early scout, kind of can forgo this early scout because can't be a lab from Kizer unless he's gonna send a fucking Celine, which is just not a good idea to raid with a Celine. They just take like 10 minutes to fucking kill an engineer. Kizer is afraid of some Russian hackers, or Ukrainian in this case. Ah, they both they both walked at the start, yeah. So let's see what happens. We got Kizer just walking, making a factory as he needs to. So he needs to use his mass. This engineer dodge is nice from Kizer. And dodge again. Yep. Quite easy to dodge Cybern bomber. As long as you know where the bomber is, it's quite easy to dodge. If the bomber's coming from you don't know where and you don't know exactly when it's going to drop, then it's much more difficult to dodge, and much more difficult to dodge, and that's why scouts are so important when you're trying to defend your engineers versus bombers. Nice raid over here. See Kizer edge building a factory. He didn't actually edge build a factory with his commander. I wonder if that was a mistake. Suspect it wasn't. A lot of tanks, actually every single tank so far is basically going this way, except this guy is looking to kill the raiding mantis. But if you send every tank over here, you should not just chill on your side of your base. You should be moving. Try to get some raiding done. I mean, Petric sent 1 tank and he got more raiding done than Kizer. Now he's moving out. Also, I think you have to be careful as Seraphim not to make too many Celines, because they're absolutely dog shit in combat. And they're expensive. It's like 20 mass. How much is a Cybern Scout? 8 mass. You see, that's more than double the cost, so you gotta be careful you don't want to mix too many Celines in. They're just a waste usually. They don't even have good radar. Like 4 or 5 Celines here. 5 Celines is 2 tanks. 2 tanks. And we have a PD up for Petric. Not in the best position, but actually no, that's solid. You can get a few tanks past, but not many. And Petric already has a big lead. You can see Kizer getting raided here. not being able to do damage in return on the other side, really. Thanks to just enough tanks and 1 PD. Mid, we have him sharing this mass. Would have been good to have those arties in mid already. You want to have arties there. Excuse me. When the opposing commander is reclaiming the massive wreck, so you can get in those free arty shots that do so much damage. And it's really when you get those RD shots in on the commander as he's reclaiming that you actually have a chance to snipe someone in mid. If you don't do that, then you're not really gonna be able to take them out with tanks. We have a couple of jesters moving in. Nice abuse of the jester. Jester is such a nice unit. Just that extra option for Cybern in the early air game, and yeah, he stops attacking the Hydro, which isn't even built. It's not a great target. Couple of mechs is upgrading. It's kind of slow. They're not being assisted, unlike Petrich's. He has 2 up now, almost 3, and they're assisted, which is just more efficient, just better. Usually, you want to have some build power in standby when you're grabbing this, or just before you grab the mid reclaim, so that you're not wasting any of that juicy mass. So pretty good rating here. Petric wins air, gets some max kills. This one just needs to be finished off. He actually, how the fuck are there 2 tanks here? Like, wait, how? It's like Mantis with cloak or something. I don't know what the fuck happened there. But Kizer's making gun. Who made gun first? Petric is actually not going for gun. He's going for T2, and Kizer started his gun afterwards. That sounds good for Petric, to be honest. He's gonna have mass. You do get quite a lot of mass on this map, so he's gonna be able to make some PDs with that, and that should be able to hold off Kizer, as long as, well, yeah, we got some support factories coming up, so Petric is going for quite a bit of T2, and he's got so much excellent rating. Like, these 4 are dead, these 3 are dead. Kind of sloppy from Kizer. He's not making any T1A, and it's cost him. T1A is really quite good against gunships now. Gunship will just take so long to kill. Kill the 1 mobile T1A, that's not worth it. Looks like Petric is easily gonna clean up this army. He's got the good angle. Kizer's not reacting. Jester's even helping out. And now, as Kizer moves in with the gun, there's 2 T2 PDs here already. The Rhinos get vaporized though by an overcharge, but that ultimately is irrelevant. What Kizer has to hope is that the Zuis can do some insane damage, and he does have 50 in a small area, so that's pretty epic. I think he probably just want to click on the ACU with those amount of Zuis lame style. Get a few on the PDs, and the rest just click on the ACU and see what happens. But Kizer, oh my god, he's so low. He got targeted, and he's just escapes. Oh my god. But the base is dead, but Kizer has no HP to work with. I mean, 2-3 bombers. Oh, we have a Corsair. That should be the end of the game, in fact, unless this cliff saves him. But yeah, Petric is in essentially no danger here. Kizer is gonna walk in and just die to whatever comes at him. T1 bombers coming at him, kill him. I'm pretty sure. I think Corsair looked like it hit Petric, and this one didn't even fire. 300 HP. Oh my god, he's not dead. He just got a vet. 600 HP now. He's still alive and still alive. I think he just control K at the end. Alright. Well, that wasn't very competitive. Kizer is quite rusty for this tournament, unfortunately. So let's move on to the next game, which was on Craftius. I was just finding it in the replay vault there. Let's see. So I think I already casted a Petric group stage game against Nexus. I think I did. So you can go check that out as well. Stream not working for Kizer. That's unfortunate. Sarah versus Sarah. So it was kind of strange last game. Kizer playing Seraphim and Petric playing Cybern. It's kind of the exact opposite of what you would expect. Needs to check the key. For the stream, you get a stream key. And sometimes it changes for no reason. That's like YouTube level bullshit. So Kizer, what the fuck? He's not making his maxes. He's just making regen. Making the Hydro. And now making maxes. So that's interesting. I don't remember seeing that. Let's see how that build order goes for him. Petric. He didn't do that, did he? Surely. Oh yeah, pro tip. You walk here and you can build this max with the ACU. Can't do it on this side. So we have second air. Amphax coming up. Probably gonna stall mass, making pigeons and factory at the same time. Walks before finishing the factory because he does not have the resources for it. Yeah, it takes a little while to make the third factory on this map. You can't just spam it up instantly, unlike on other maps. Nice raid from Petric. The Selene gonna block this Mex. This Selene is so fucked up. Doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And this tank looking for an engineer that's already gone. Bomber looking for an engineer. Finds big hunk of ACU. And this bomber, will it drop? Oh, that was so close to dropping. But it gets killed. Kizer, I did not see a bomber from him. It's unusual, he usually makes a bomber. More factories going up. There's no real great adjacency to be gotten on this map, unfortunately. You just kind of spam them up wherever the fuck in front of your base. Both players moving to the normal side. Petric going top, sending his tanks through mid. It's nice, you can get some raiding done. So from here you can raid. If you can actually get to this position, you can raid these mexes. This one is not built. You can raid across, down, up the plateau, which has not been taken. There's no engineer up here, so this is 3 mexes that Petric has that Kizer does not. Kizer, meanwhile, trying to raid on this side, avoiding the ACU. See, there's no defenses here, so definitely good opportunities. Petric is going to slip past here. Kizer has a lot of tanks just kind of chilling outside his base. Meanwhile, Frigate doing some damage at the back. Kizer already has the Hydro over here, that's very nice. didn't make a torp launcher, sort of started making one and then decided to leave. And now a lot of tanks moving up the middle area. Petric already knows it, sees it, because he has this beautiful scout, which Kizer has not noticed yet. Because almost no one does this Selene trick anymore, for whatever reason, or maybe almost no one ever did it. Petric knows about it. Petric does it quite a lot as Seraphim. So you gotta always be looking for that Selene when you're playing against Petric. You'll probably try it. So we don't see any T2. See so many T1 factories for Kizer. Can he even... A lot of them are idle. All these guys at the bottom are idle. That is some sexy production. GPG line of factories. Petric does not seem to have that many, but still a lot for him too. Petric does have, however, 4 naval factories and a good torp launcher. It's very solid. Torp launcher is really nice here because there's not much space. They can basically cover an entire area, entire choke with that. Kizer only has 3 naval factories. He does have quite a lot of navy. Unfortunately, it's shooting a cliff face. And while a lot of fighting is going on over here, Kizer's ACU is just out of the game. He also has not killed this. This can be killed at any time with some arties. You gotta try and kill this. Also, we have no drops. On the top over here, we can see Petric is already on this one. Yeah, he has his shit locked down. So another 6 maxes for him. Petric has actually dropped a couple up here. So that's a massive advantage. And still, these 3 maxes and these 3 maxes, another advantage for Petric. Water looks kind of even, but there's some naval PD creep going on, which is just denying more area, and Petric is grabbing those maxes. Also see T2 land, and I doubt we're going to see T2 land from Kizer, considering he just continues to make more T1 factories. Oh, Kizer is going to get raided pretty hard. No walls or anything here. All these mexes in this entire expansion is going to die. Significant amounts of reclaim in this area. Not as significant as they could be because there's a lot of arties in there. They're gonna wreck some of the reclaim. But I think this push can't work. I think there's not enough tanks, and actually these are airs, AFK. Bombers are wreaking havoc, killing a lot of stuff. I'll see tons of Selenes, which is quite bad. This army could be a bit stronger, but he's still gaining ground. He has lost air, Kizer has. It looks like he can kill this expansion, but it's no big advantage. Oh, his naval factory's now dying to Zooies. This expansion is dead. And Kizer just says, fuck this. Taps out. Nothing really going for him at this stage. Oh man, it's always painful when your opponent has 6 out of 6 of the islands. Then you know you fucked up. That's a big advantage to have. So yeah, no T2 transition, no. I think if you want to go T1, I would put my ACU on the same side as the opponent ACU, so you can really put pressure on and then use the unit advantage around the map. Because in this case, all of his tanks are on the top, and he's versus an ACU and an army. While his ACU is doing not much, he couldn't even His ACU didn't even secure his bottom expansion, he still got raided and lost it. So yeah, what could you actually do? I think it's an ACU. If you could probably fucking well, I think if people make their naval production here, you can just walk up and reclaim it. But that's why people build it back here. But yeah, I'll put my AC on the same side. I'm going for heavy 2-1 and just try. You can put far more pressure on, I feel, and then use the unit advantage in other areas. So that's that anyway. That's series 2-0 for Petric. So let's find the next series, which is versus Oxide Ion, I believe. Let's see, where is it? Petric Tourney. No, that's Nexus. Yeah, okay, we're on Twin Rivers. Petric versus Oxide Ion. So, Petric playing UEF. The Mongoose faction versus Oxide Ion. Playing Seraphim. And yeah, Group C was thought to be the group of death. We have Oxide Ion, Petric, Kizer, and Nexus. I think somebody called it group of death, but unfortunately Kizer is quite rusty, so it didn't turn out as super competitive as it could have been. I think there were some tough groups though. I think even my group was tough as fuck. We had me, Mephi, Silent, and Chevalier. Silent played really well. And Mephi obviously went on to win the tournament. Spoiler alert. Got a Mech Marine from Petric. And we also had a Voodoo, Zoc, Ajax, Blast Shield. I mean, Voodoo, Zoc, and Ajax, that's pretty epic. And then, yeah, Group 2, Blood Ears, Low, Robogear, Taquito, also very strong, so pretty much all the groups were strong. Oxide Ion has 2 Selines. Are those raiding Selines? Is he gonna raid with those? They're obviously not for radar coverage considering they're right next to each other. 2 raiding Selines, that's very interesting. Petric can only see 1. What is going on here? Why can he only see 1? What the fuck? What the fuck? Someone can explain this. I would be eternally grateful. Maybe not eternally. For a little while at least. This guy looks like he can get something done. Be interesting to see if the Selene has enough radar to actually see it. It does. So it's just up to Oxide to react. And he has reacted. This Selene slips past. 1 did go down to this tank. Second factory's up. 3rd air. Petric going 3rd air as well. And the lab kills the Selene, but the tank finishes him off. Now you'll see the glorious power of a Selene's gun. So when you're fighting a Selene, you can literally just walk towards it and reclaim it, and it won't have enough time to do damage. In this case, it got a few shots off, so Petric actually is dodging the shots as he's walking towards the Selene. Does actually manage to get the kill here, but yeah, it's not fun trying to kill an engineer with a Selene. It's not fun at all. So early tanks moving to this area. He's basically just stopping any tanks from coming to kill his engineer, which is reclaiming in mid, while also looking for Oxide's engineer, and he does target it now. Nice dodge. And good reclaim. Well, we have another tank coming up. 3 tanks around this area. I fear for this Engi's life. Meanwhile, Petric has grabbed all this and made sure he grabbed all the mech marines and is now going to expand. Grab some more mexes. Similar timings on the back mexes. And the side, Petric is a bit slower, and Oxide going defensive here, making PD. Never really liked this making PDs here. Just feels inefficient. Petric is also planning it. That was just like the wall across here. PD works, but if you get to here, you can still probably kill almost every mech in the expansion, even though there's a PD there. It only really works if people walk into it. Petric has far more reclaim. 1.6k. See, still has shit to grab. Big rocks over here and here. But he got the mid reclaim, or at least half the mid reclaim, so that's probably where his reclaim need comes from. You can see Oxide's grabbed a lot of this, he's grabbed all this as well. PD going up with these 2 mechs is always a good place to put them. Good place to put the PD, I should say. Selene moving in, and the tanks, so he just tries to reclaim a bit of this PD, get some mass back for his investment. Small little efficiencies like that can ultimately make a difference if you have enough of those good habits. Obviously reclaiming like 20 mass of a PD is not going to win you the game, or even have a large impact. But you have those small efficiencies enough times, then they add up. Three engineers moving across in a transport. There's a bomber looking for them though. Here, Oxide made the silly mistake of queuing a factory on reclaim, so it's not going to build because the engineer cannot reach the reclaim to get rid of it. Oxide is being quite aggressive with his SU, it's kind of nice. It's dangerous, but he's gonna take some X's that should be Petric's. He's not reacting with his transport, so it's probably gonna get bombed, and Petric is dropping 4 engineers now. The advantage he had by dropping earlier is gone, and so are his engineers. No. In fact, that was the factory that got hit. I think they're going to be gone shortly though, because he hasn't split them. Now Oxide walking into range of every tank in Petric's army. Oops. Indeed. He could die here. If Petric wants to kill him, this is not a bad time. But Oxide does have more tanks, so He just throws them in there. Petric can just fall back. There's no way Oxide can push anytime soon without upgrades or anything. So, looks good for him. In fact, this was not 4 engineers, I believe. There was definitely 4 things on here, and I think they were dropped. I want to think they were dropped. Oxide now wants to make a play for this expansion. Petric reacting quickly. Some tanks are going to get caught. And killed. And it's going to leave some reclaim. And also I think Petric no longer has a unit disadvantage in this area. And he actually has a much better formation as well. You can see coming in perpendicular to Oxide's army, so this is all good for Petric. Trading efficiently, leaving reclaim on his side. On the top, he's gonna win this. He has 2 factories. Oxide made 1 and has no tanks. Over here, he still has not realized. And meanwhile, Petric has dropped a couple NGs. He's gonna take the bottom as well. A lot of raiding all over. Mex is going down, not being rebuilt. Not actually queued to rebuild yet. And meanwhile, Petric not getting raided at all. Also an ACU advantage in terms of HP. I should be playing this a bit faster. And it looks pretty fucked for Oxide. He goes down. Left himself in range of the ACU. So much fail. Yeah, Petric played well as usual, but yeah, Oxide didn't play at his best there. There's a few things that just didn't go his way. So we'll move on to the second game of the series. Whitefire V2. What will be the factions? Well, Oxide has Aeon, Petric, and Seraphim, so that's interesting. Aeon, I don't think Aeon is super strong here, because if you're against Petric, Petric is gonna micro his shit for days. His Ceradestros are just almost never going to get hit by your Destros, probably. Because he's just one of those guys who can do that. That's the APM. And this is a tourney, so I hope he has the will to try hard a little bit. So Whitefire, it's all about fighting on your side of the map. You don't want to fight on your opponent's side. And you want to have a good BO so you can use all this mass. So Petric sending his first engineer to reclaim. You can actually send your second one and not run out of mass. I think it's better to do that. You can have your first engineer assist the ACU or even expand. grab a little bit of mass around your base and then expand. We're seeing a very fast naval factory. First engineer is reclaiming, second engineer and the third engineer are making naval factories. And he'd probably even get this guy to assist. No, he's actually going to the island to expand. Oh, he's sending him across. That's nasty. I'd actually like to see an Aurora, maybe. Maybe send an Aurora to the here or here. Front island or here. That would be interesting. Aurora is slow as shit, unfortunately, but not as slow as an engineer. So we have first naval factory done. Petric is not done his first naval factory. He's rushing this hydro. Nice move. This hydro is going to be kind of slow. This NG has a lot of shit to build first. And there's only one engineer, so it's gonna take a while. We look at build order, so we have 4 mexes done. Hydro is done. 1 naval factory and a land factory. Over here we have a land factory, air factory just gone up, as is Petrich's, but we have 2 naval factories and the third is just about done. Only 3 mexes still and no hydros. So you can see power problem right here. This is not what you want at all. Petric now going back for more reclaim, and he has power to probably upgrade a mex at this stage. Just grab these guys and get a mex done if you want, because you don't have enough build power to make all the factories you want, to make all the power you want. And you can see he builds the air factory and has to stop making out of it. You could probably cancel the air unit and make more engineers, send a couple engineers to make both hydros, assist this guy, This build order, it's kind of bad right now, because he's now running out of mass. He's lost his wreck, but this is always good. See how much of the reclaim he's grabbed. That's a lot. He's grabbed about a quarter of it now. Let's see how much he gets. That's why. Oh, and he sees the. He's immediately on it. That's about half the wreck. Yep, more than half the wreck. In fact, 1700 left out of 3800. That is painful for Petric, and despite the bad build order, well, kind of bad, he now, that is Oxide, has an advantage. Actually, look how far away this wreck is. That is not fair. See, this wreck is closer. Imba spots, please fix. I actually played Mackie in a game, Mr. Mackie, where we played these spots against each other, which was quite nice, except the reclaim is a bit imba. It makes more of a difference in those spots. But it would be cool to play that. Maybe someone can fix these this reclaim. I'm looking at you, Bias, with 2 S's. So a lot of frigates coming out. Do we see T2 switch? Usually you see T2 come out pretty quick, especially when you're Seraphim, because you can basically say, I don't want to make frigates anymore, and I'll just make Destros. Because, well, frigates aren't as important for Seraphim because of the way their Destros work. Because their Destros just don't miss, and they have good HP, and so you don't really need to screen. You don't really need to screen your Destros as much, because you can just make pure Destros. You're more efficient. They have torps, they have great damage, and they can hide from frigates. If you get swarmed by frigates, you can just duck and just leave, or just stand there, sit there underneath like subs and kill them slowly with your torps. Probably you just want to get a bit away from them and then surface again and use those much more powerful lasers rather than rely on the torps. So 1 T2 mechs for Petric. Meanwhile, we're coming up on 3.5 for Oxide, and Oxide is pouring fucking subs, or frigates I should say, into the base and killing build power. Now the question is, does he just go all into you on? Oh wow, he's fucking sent his ACU across. And there's a Wow, I should probably cast this game again. Because I didn't even see this. But Petric has 2 PDs up. 1 PD, as I said before, 1 PD is good, but 2 PDs, you just can't fight that with an ACU. 1 PD, he could maybe fight it. But no wonder Petric is behind in the air, or in the Navy, when he has 4 land factories up. He's taken this expansion, he needs to not forget about these. Looks like he's got them targeted now. This mech is gonna go down. He can raid here. I think we need some frigates across. Frigates here to stop the Zooies and cut off this choke point. He definitely needs to put some frigates here. And Petric just needs to maintain some level of naval build power, which he's doing by adding more over here. Because eventually these frigates are going to die to the subs. Oh, that hurts. It's an entire frigate dead for free, pretty much, when that factory went down. But huge damage done here. Even some raiding of these mexes. You can see, even though Oxide ran in with those frigates and one navy basically killed all of his opponent's frigates, Petric just sent out subs out of his factories and they just whittled away these frigates. Before they could kill all these factories, I mean, you can see a lot of them are damaged. He got a couple here, he got one up here I think as well, but that's not enough damage. He didn't kill this mechs or these mexes. Any here. Don't know if he even killed this one, I don't think so. So not enough raiding and not enough damage really. He's going to leave lots of reclaim as he did here. You can see there's over a dozen dead frigates, or over a dozen T1 naval units dead, and that's just reclaim for him. More build power is gonna die, but the subs will eventually kill the frigates. There's no we do have T2 only starting now. He's making a lot of subs. Fucking ton of subs. Which you don't really want to do, I think. If I see my opponent with a ton of subs, then I'm pretty happy, because I can make some torp bombers, or I can just make some Destros. Seraphim Destros are not the best against subs. Subs can actually be effective. If you make a lot of T1 subs, you can actually do okay versus a Seraphim Destro. But you want a lot of numbers, and if you misjudge the number, then the subs are probably going to die quite inefficiently. Also helps that Aeon frigates have torp defense. I think the torp defense they have is really shit, but it helps somehow, some way. Have a bit of an air fight going on. Not sure why Petric isn't actually doing anything. He's got a transport out. This would be a good time to send some Zooies across. Always nice. You should definitely put a factory here on this island, as any faction, just to get the reclaim. But especially at Seraphim. And then if you have such a situation where there are no frigs out in front of the island, then it's just free Zooey harassment is available to you, and that's 6 mexes and a Hydra that you can kill with impunity pretty much if they don't have frigs out in front of their base. Subs aren't going to help, that's for sure. So now we have a sub battle going on. You gotta micro when you're fighting with subs. You gotta make sure you're attacking the weak subs, get them out of there as fast as possible, because now we can see there was 3 weak and the subs are actually going down now. Advantage Oxide Ion and sub count. First Destro almost complete for Petric. Only halfway for Oxide, and he just has no answer to this. Did he make... Okay, he did add more land factories. I think it took him a while to add more land factories. But how else are you going to take out that factory? That base? Could have gone for maybe AC upgrade. Like maybe just make T2. Or if you want to be cheap, maybe he could just make range gun and overcharge. And that may be enough to kill this base. It would take a while. I think with range gun he would need support with tank support and RTs and stuff, just to accelerate how quickly he can take it out. But right now he has just no... He's not even planning to take it out, and actually Petric drops some tanks and RTs to the middle island and kills it. Kills the other part with frigates, good rating. And this looks completely fucked. Petric has double the income, more than double the income. And he has the navy advantage. Now Zui's attacking the naval base. He doesn't... Petric has air as well. So... yeah, people are greedy and people don't check for these proxy bases. It's not that hard to get there, to get your opponent's furthest expansion before they do. You don't have to be that fast or that sneaky or anything. So you should always be scouting in the early game to make sure you have an empty expansion that you're moving to, and don't just assume it's empty. And it looked good. Oxide, I mean, Petric, you can see the danger of this base and making PDs and 4 factories. The danger was that Petric had a naval disadvantage, but he just maintained his composure and his naval production. He added more factories over here. He built subs to deal with the frig harassment, and about half his factory survived in his base, or more, and that was enough. He got the reclaim. He didn't get pushed off here at all. Oxide was just not ready for this whatsoever, and there's 2 PDs, 4 factories before he's even reacted, so what can you do? You gotta see it faster is the main thing to do, and then also as soon as you see it you have to know how you're going to deal with it, whether that's... could make T2 and just make some T2 PDs. That's quite expensive because you need the upgrade and then also to pay for the PDs, or you can make gun, or you can just get enough factories and use tanks and T1 ACU and RTs to kill it, but you have to take it back quickly. You could also, when you're making those tanks, you can just do a bit of a drop over here. You can see most people do not defend this area much at all, so it's always good to attack here. You can drop here, and we saw Petric drop here, wipe out the entire island very easily with just one single T1 trans drop. So yeah, it's not all about microing your destros, just mostly, but you can make it about other things, but it's up to you to change the game, because most people just complain, oh, you just spam frigs and micro destros. Well, if that's what you do, then that's what you do, but you can make it about other things, and that's what Petric did. I know he hates this map, so he decided just go for this drop, change the gameplay a bit. So that's that. The other game was casted already by me, which was Petric versus Nexus. Those games are on my channel, and that's that for this Legend of the Stars group cast. Thanks for watching.